Good morning. Time for a small update. We are at the 22nd, no, sorry, the 21st of October. And normally it would be around this time that I would do my PSA test, but I will be doing it the last day of the month because that means that it's easier for me to keep track of in the future what differences in my protocol has made an impact. Because I'm doing the recording every month, and if I'm doing the PSA, say the 18th or the 22nd, then I have to rearrange that in my program, and that's going to be a cumbersome thing. And there's no real reason for me to be too tight about when I'm doing the PSA test. I can do it whenever I want, and I'm actually seriously contemplating maybe to skip it every month, but maybe do it every second month. Normally people they will do it every 3 months, but obviously it's because I have to have a good idea about what I'm doing and how it's progressing that I'm doing it this often. Anyway, there's another 9 days and 10 days, and I'll be doing my PSA. But how is it doing so far? Well, I'm really looking forward for my next PSA. While I was very nervous about my PSA last time, and I was right to be nervous, it did not lower, but it also didn't cross 100, then this time I'm very confident that I'll have a drop, a seriously good drop. First of all, the last 5 nights, I think we can count already, I'm down to 1 single toilet visit in the night. The water pressure has restored, not to its glorious good young days, but it is not what it was a month or 2 months or 3 months ago. And daytime, same thing, no problem at all. So that alone is something that is a physical change that I'm really optimistic about. It's also been, I think, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago since I had any lymph node being swollen, which is also very good. So all in all, I think that things are progressing in the right direction. It really is. I bought this Pectasol modified citrus pectin. I have used it for 1 single day, so I've got worth of 10,000 baht standing on my shelves. I don't know how many dollars that is. Probably $300 worth of modified citrus pectin that I will be using eventually. I probably will, but the reason why I'm not using it is because it doesn't work in conjunction with the forbidden protocol that I am doing 5% off, let's just say that, because I had to do some further research into the topic, because it is oxidant versus antioxidants, and this is a very strong antioxidant. And that's what I also like to touch base on a little bit today, because that's some new information for me. I think I've mentioned it before, but just to recap a bit, there's a lot of, in the alternative supplement industry, a lot of talk about antioxidants being very good, and I think while that is true, it is important to understand what antioxidant versus oxidants is and what they do and why they might be good. The vast majority of people, they do have some kind of physical issues, if they do have cancer at least, and a lot of people, they have health issues because they don't do exercise. And if you're comparing, like I've done before, I'm sure, an athlete and a couch potato, then there's no doubt that the athlete is more fit than the couch potato. But one of the reasons why it's a healthier person being an athlete is also because of the oxidation. The oxidation is happening when you're breathing, and you're breathing a lot, because one of the biggest oxidizers we have is oxygen. And that also means that if you are doing a lot of exercise, then you have a lot of oxidation. And as such, to balance your body, taking antioxidants might be a very good idea. But on the other hand, if you are a couch potato and you're not feeling very fit, then you do not have a lot of oxidation. To then supplement with antioxidants, based on what I've found so far, but I might have misunderstood something here, is counterproductive. So it doesn't really work that well for you, or maybe to the contrary. So while I was thought, okay, if oxidants are very important in combating cancer, I should dial down on my antioxidants. I also realized that I have got my VO2 max up in top 10 of people in the age of 50 to 54 using Garmin. And being up there, I am kind of having a number that indicates that I am doing a lot of oxidation, I'm doing a lot of exercise that strengthens my body. So the antioxidants I have has a place there to give that natural balance, because that's what we got to aim for. Sure, we want something specifically, if we can find that one thing specifically to combat cancer, but other than that, we want the body to be in balance. And it has to be in balance with oxidants and antioxidants. But like I said, a strong antioxidants combined with a strong oxidants might not be the way to go, given that I already use various supplements. And it is also recommended not to use vitamin C and the similar things in conjunction with the Forbidden Protocol. So this will be standing on my shelves, and I think I am doing it the right way. In this past month, what has made the change, I think, is also that I have increased my melatonin level. At the current moment, I am at about 1,500 milligrams of melatonin a day, split into two. So I get the vast majority just before bedtime, about 1,000, 1,100 before bedtime, and then I get 400 or 500 before at dinner time, or a few hours before afternoon. In addition to that, I've got my supplements from the company Triquetra, I think it's called. It's a bit tricky word, but it's a company that makes supplements that I have great faith in. I'm not being paid to say this, I'm not an affiliate, but given that I've already bought several $100s worth of supplements, and I have a friend bringing more in for me, kind of a testament to my faith in it. And that includes black seed oil capsules at 5% and black seed oil capsules at 20%. And that is the Coraquine, or whatever the name of that active ingredients is. So I'm taking one of those at 5% at before breakfast, or no, not before breakfast, before lunch. And I take one of those capsules at 20% at dinner time. I take a whole bunch of different kind of supplements like curcumin and serrapeptase and saw palmetto and ginger, and there's a lot of things that I take. But I think the real difference is that I also take vitamin B12, and I take quercetin, which is new for this month period. And I think the fact that I dialed down on my supplements in terms of the volume, but I have increased it in terms of variety, and so that I'm using supplements as supplements and not as something that specifically has to target cancer. I think that is contributing to a more balanced body and to a more balanced result. My fitness has decreased, unfortunately. I'm not getting in and doing my strength training, but I'm planning on changing that today, because I'm not getting anything. I do not get any progress by being lazy, but I am exercising every day. So if I'm not doing my fitness, I do go out for a run. May that be only 3 kilometers, but I'm still doing that. So I'm very optimistic. It's also important for me that I have some target to go for, to aim for, and every 4 months I've got my big run in Pattaya, but 4 months is a bit too long for me. But fortunately, I've got now a Lana run up in Laos, in Vang Vieng, a place that I've wanted to see for the past 18 years, 19 years, ever since I came to Luang Prabang, which I did in 2005. I wanted to see Vang Vieng also. And now they happens to set a Lana run there in the beginning of December. So I've got about a month and a half where I can keep focus on my fitness levels and make sure that I maintain it or even improve it, and then I can go run and I have fun. So having those every 2 months is really something that makes it work for me very well, because it's a horizon that I can work with. And once I've done the Lana run, then at the end of January I've got another run down in Pattaya that I also got to do. So I'm quite happy. I just looked at the papers. It was in what was that? Yeah, it was the 14th of August I got my first PSA. It was the 7th of October that I did last year my biopsy, where it was confirmed that it was a Gleason 9 prostate cancer. So we are more than a year into an adventure that so far is working very well. I am planning on doing a bone scan. I cannot afford to do a PSMA PET scan. Obviously, that would be the best one to do, because then I can see if the metastasis I had to the lymph node is gone. But in reality, it's not about what the scan shows. So for me anyway, at this point in time, it is more about how I feel. But a lot of people is bashing me, or are bashing me, because they say, oh, you don't know where you are, and you don't know what is really going on, and because you don't do all the scans and this and that. It annoys me, to be honest, because people are so focused on what the paper says and so focused on what the picture says, instead of focusing on how are their lives. And these are the same people who says that prostate cancer is a silent killer because you can't feel it. And the very same people are the ones jumping at all sorts of medical treatments, and every day are complaining about pain, complaining about lack of erection, complaining about lack of life quality that they have to live with, and find ways to compromise, and despite the suffering still find a way to smile. So why are they having so many trouble with me doing what I do happy, and I might add, really functioning? My health is good on all parameters. I've just stabilized my blood pressure. Is now sneaking around normal and high normal, but in that very low end of high normal. Like today it was 129/85, and the 85 is apparently what ticks it over to high normal, while the 129 is good. So blood pressure is good. My HIV is stabilizing at about 60, which is very good for a 54-year-old. My average resting heart rate is dropped again to about 43, 42, which is also very good. My blood oxygen level is a bit of a challenge. Now I'm measuring it constantly, and I can see I've been as low as 86 in that time. And quite often I'm going down to 89, which is in an alarming area without being more than just below the green area, the okay area. But you want the oxygen levels to be at about 98, 97. But that's another tricky thing, because with a heart rate, resting heart rate at 41, 42, 43, and with a breathing rate at a average about 13, but at times it drops to 11, then obviously I'm not breathing. I cannot have a higher oxygen level than I'm pumping around in my blood and that I'm breathing into. So the only way I can see that changing, because that's the result of good exercise and the high fitness level, is by changing the oxygen level in my bedroom. So I'm doing a little experiment there, and that's what I like. I like these small tweaks that I can do. And we put some green plants in there to see if it can absorb some of the CO2 and in exchange produce a little bit more oxygen there. It might be so minute that people listening to this, knowing something about it, would laugh their asses off for me even trying it. But I'm just doing what I can, because I can see if I'm breathing less and I am having a slower heart rate, there will be a natural drop in oxygen levels, the way I see it. I cannot see how I can have a high oxygen level when I'm not breathing much and when I'm not having a fast beating heart. So the only way I can change that number is by increasing the oxygen level in the room I'm in. Now maybe it would work if I just go, and I can probably make that as an experiment, come to think of it. I could put up my tent out here among the trees and see if a night's sleep out here for a few nights is going to change my oxygen levels. Might actually be a good idea. Just come up here on the video. Anyway, it was just a small update, mostly for myself, but also for you following my channel. It's going very well. We are 14 months plus into my adventure here, and I see things progressing. I actually think that in terms of how I feel prostate related, I am at the same place as I was a year ago, because I didn't have much issue back then. I went to the toilet 1 or 2 times a night. But as far as my physical state goes, I am in a totally different place. I am smack in the middle of 47 VO2 max, which is, as I mentioned, top 10% of people using the Garmin in the age of 50 to 54. And I'm 54 years old. So let's see what's going to happen in, was that 4 or 5 months time when I turn 55, if that's going to change, if I can maintain my 47. But I am actually aiming hard now to go to 48. Could be fun to see what that makes of changes. So physically, I am in a much better place. Cannot be compared by the place I was back then. I was at 102 kilos, and my VO2 max was, I think it was 43, and my fastest 5K run was at 31 minutes. Now it's at 27. Yeah, all the numbers are just perfect, and all the blood numbers are perfect as well. Back then there were a few numbers that was a bit off. Now they're all good. So we'll just continue where we have done it so far. I'm very confident that it's going in the right direction. We still got things to tweak, still got things to do. So even if the numbers are not as much as I hope for, I am confident that it will get there. And if it doesn't get there, we will have postponed the time where I start provoking the cancer with some hormone treatment, making it hormone resistant, and I'm also postponing it so that we might have AI coming along with some better treatments than are currently available. I think things are going to accelerate a lot in that area. So yeah, that was it for today. Until next time, and as always, stay healthy and curious and happy.